What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? Shit. This shit. No, all right, let's go. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? This your boy No Filter right here, hitting you guys again today with another stream today. Today's stream is a very special stream today. I was supposed to do the special on the stream with Johnny Midnight. He's off today. I'm gonna invite. What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? This your boy No Filter right here, hitting you guys again today with another stream today. Today's stream is a very special stream today. I was supposed to do the special on the stream with Johnny Midnight. He's damn it, man. Fuck that shit. Anyway, my point. All right, what up, YouTube? This your boy No Filter hitting you guys. I hate that fucking playback audio bullshit. What up, you? This boy No Filter right hitting you guys on the video slash stream today. And basically this stream today is basically it's gonna do a series. It's basically a series based off of what was called Creators Block, which was called Writer's Block. I just reworded the name a little bit when I get done. When we get done with it, I'm gonna rewrite it. Basically, but we're gonna do like an episode. I'm gonna break it down. And today's episode is called Creators Block, episode 1, creating. And it's for you comic book creators out there. For you guys to kind of constantly creating characters. I'm on a laptop right now while doing this podcast. I like to do 2 things at one time to keep it going. So I got some ideas to my head. But my today's guest is Johnny Midnight. Armchair. I think Armchair and Johnny. I sent you guys and Lou. I sent you guys an invite. Just join so we can get the show started. This is the prima. This is the pre-warmer. And basically, I'm gonna give you guys with the daily run up a little bit. This is my brand new series called Creators Block for you creators out there. I know Stewie. I know Stewart. Luna Heckler, I think he's a comic book creator. So this for you comic book creators out there that want to create characters. This is the series for you. I will be doing a lot of other things on this channel, but this is one of my main channels right here, especially with me being a creator myself. I create and write. I do a lot of things. I don't draw. So basically what this series basically is about for you comic book creators out there, you struggling with ideas, you trying to get some ideas, and we're gonna get people that's into comic books. And also we're gonna discuss like comic book news. So Creators Block is also talking about comic book news. We're gonna discuss the Black trailer. We're gonna discuss everything comic book related. So on this channel right here, this is the episode for you. This is your boy No Filter. This is episode number 1, and this episode is called Creating. Originally was supposed to be called Creating, Writing, and Drawing, but I'm gonna break it down in different series, and then we're gonna break it down to each component of what it makes it be different. So we have Luiz, you there? Luiz?
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah. All right, man. All right, I'm waiting on Johnny and Armchair so we can start the podcast. I'm waiting for yeah. Oh, yeah. What up, Johnny?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I told you I was gonna do it. I'm at home today. I had set up for an hour early. I was waiting on you guys because I was I guess it popped up in you guys' stream. But today is we broke it down. I created a thumbnail for it. I should have created a thumbnail for it before I did the thing now. But we're gonna break it down in 3 parts. This is the first part is creating. The second part gonna be writing, and then the third part gonna be drawing, and then we'll get into the other stuff, and then we'll talk about comic book news, trailers, and stuff like that. And it's kind of like a podcast, small mini podcast. I'm testing the series out, see how the series does, and if y'all guys like it, and you guys really gonna do it, you're gonna see more of this. I'm waiting on Armchair to come in, and then we're gonna start the show. But what up, Johnny?
Oh, not a whole lot. I actually took off work today, so we could get this going. I'm not gonna miss it.
Yeah. So I was like, I wanted to do a series. Let me add Bullet Machine. Bullet Machine, you went to comics? Hold on, let me add him as a moderator. Yeah. Well, I told you, man, this series right here, man, I created thumbnails for it, so I think it's gonna bring in more people too. I created more thumbnails for it. I'm not just gonna use thumbnails from the stream. I'm gonna make it more interesting. I'm using comic book themes, so I have like 4 or 5 themes saved on the main computer on my on the home computer. So we have like a lot of thumbnails. So it's gonna be real cool. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a cool dope series, man. I think I'm gonna excited. I'm gonna enjoy this because it's up my alley. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy specimen type content, but I think you gotta get past that type of stuff, and then not get past it, but not discuss it as much, but still try to do things I enjoy because I create characters and stuff like that. So this for you guys out there, man. This series is gonna be a good series, man. I hope it does well. This is the first episode I'm testing it out. It's like a test run, and we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna discuss comic book news out there, comic book TV shows, anime, all kinds of stuff. Well, this is mostly for everything geek related. So if you're a geeky guy, this channel this is the stuff for you, man. So I'm waiting on Armchair to get in, and when Armchair get in, we'll discuss it. But the reason why, guys, I'm breaking it down like this, I was supposed to be discuss 3 things in one. I was like, no, since series, let's just break it down to each component. And today's first episode will be discuss creating characters. And the reason why I think this video is so important is more than just drawing, more than just writing. To create a character, it takes a lot. And Johnny, I don't know if you created characters before. I know Luiz, you're working on a character. When you're creating a character, man, it's hard as hell, man, because there's so many characters out there just the same. They got the same power set and stuff like that and whatever. And when you're creating a character, because I'm creating characters right now while talking to you guys as well, female. But overall, when you're creating a character, male or female, whatever, when you're trying to create a character, it's so many things out there. You trying to do original idea. I think sometimes, a lot of times, we get so caught up in the overthinking the process. Oh, this character got to be so original. This character be so original. Keep it simple. Have a great backstory. And also, we're going to discuss backstories to character development, how to write, how to continue with stories, story structures, how you should, should you write less? Should you write more? Writing, the concepts of it. But basically, it's the first episode. I'm waiting on Armchair to come in. So I'm waiting on Armchair for you. But
yeah, well, I mean, to kick it off, I think that comic books are a perfect avenue for a MGTOW. Like, comic book creating is a perfect avenue for a MGTOW to go into, because it really does demand a whole lot of your time, especially if you're doing it from the ground up. I mean, most comic books do have a team behind them. You'll have a few like Kabuki, which is completely done by David Mack. Like the writing, the concepts, the drawing, the inking, the coloring, the lettering. The motherfucker does it all. He even like lays it out at the end. At least that's how he started out when he created his own comic book company called Icon back in, I don't know, 1993 or so. Mm-hmm. And he would sell this shit out of the trunk of his car, because we had an internet back then, but not like we do today. You can't just put it up on Lulu or DeviantArt or conceptart.org and get noticed. I mean, you actually had to go and make the T-shirts, make the buttons, make the bumper stickers, and do all the marketing and business yourself right on the street, and you had to hit conventions, one after the other. And that's how he did it.
Yeah.
So, but like most comic books, though, at least in the ones I've worked with, I was just part of a team. And some of us this was back in the 2000s, where the internet was a lot more connected. It was a lot more stable. Everybody had broadband. And we were able to just trade files and shit with each other. And I was working with motherfuckers in the United Kingdom. I worked with a lot of UK presses. One, and I don't want to dox myself, but 2 of them were Paper Tiger Press and 2080. So I was lucky to get those opportunities.
Yeah.
And no, I did not work on Judge Dredd, in case you're wondering.
And I think I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like you look at the comic book industry, it has changed up so much. I mean, it has got so advanced to the point where nowadays digital comics. I don't buy digital comic books. I prefer the physical copies, because I feel like digital.
Fuck yeah.
I feel like digital is for lazy people that just don't want to get up and do shit. They just like, well, I just fucking buy this shit digital. Yeah, I had nothing against it, because it's just aging with the times. You get with it. I understand all that stuff. But to me, I prefer copy when I'm on a train. I read comic books. Like, I read comic books to escape this shit. I'm pretty sure Johnny Midnight, you saw it or just around there earlier about these people. I think this guy, Professor Black Truth, he was talking about, I'm a black nerd. He was talking about black nerds are stupid. And we caught up in this non-fantasy world, focus on racism and shit like that. And it's like, but what I was coming from there, I had to break. I mean, it's pointless. Is not coming to this video, but basically that rat goes into this episode, to this series. He's saying is that I hate, me being a black man in America. Y'all don't know about me. I'm not doxing myself. I'm never turning the camera on. But overall, like, being a black in America is so goddamn hard. We got enough problems to deal with as men in general, no matter what race you are. But when you got this race baiting bullshit going on, like, I read comic books People watch comic book movies. People look. I hate the DCU because I feel like their movies are fucking shit. Besides Wonder Woman, even though I enjoy it, and we're gonna get to that later on to later half after we get done discussing the main premise of the series. But overall, like my thing has always been when it comes to society nowadays, it's like I write comic books, and what I love about the series, this for you hardcore geeky guys out there, man. Because to me, when I'm creating characters right now. I'm talking to you guys as well. You know, creating characters, man. I love doing that shit, man. Like I love it. Sitting down, coming up with the person's professional persona, and then coming up with the persona, coming up what's the backstory, whether she's a demigod, whether he's a god, she's a demigod, whether he's an archer, whether he's a billionaire, whether he's whatever it is. When you're creating it's frustrating now. Johnny will tell you, it's frustrating as shit, man. Like especially if you created characters that's dope already, you got so many dope origins out there, and it's like it's hard as fuck not to get frustrated and get pissed off at the world. But when you're creating characters, the hardest part about creating characters, man, is you gotta get in that creative space. I also talk about this for me, for you up and coming creators out there. Create an environment that make it easy. Like I have nothing but I have anime, comic book shit, nothing but in my room. So it's easy for me to get. I got Batman action figures all on my wall. I'm a big Batman fan. Hero. So it's like when you can tell my thumbnail, y'all can tell my thumbnail I love Batman. So it's like you gotta understand. I watch animated series, Justice League. I watch a lot of this cartoon shit, and it makes it easier for me because it creates a world that should be there. I attend cons and all kinds of shit. But the idea, I think we need to understand when you're creating characters, it's hard. But I think that I'm go back to my first time I started creating comic books. My first time I started creating comic books. It was like my first time I started creating comic books, and I struggled like you, Johnny. I was not the advanced creator I was back in the day. I didn't know about backstory. I didn't know about like what drove the hero. I just created the character, created the persona. It was like you got to figure out what drives that person. You know, what's the character. And I think a lot of the time when you come to create characters, people see a dope character. Oh, that character looks cool. But more than just looking cool, you gotta figure out a cool, deep backstory that kind of draws the audience into the character. You know, like when I create characters, I create black characters, but I don't focus on the character being black. I treat them as like I would treat like if I was creating a white hero or a woman or a goddess or demigod, you know, or a villain or whatever. You got to create different villains. Just like creating a villain. Creating is hard, but when you get to that point, and this we'll talk about all the time, you know, watching videos, learning how to create. I have this book from Stan Lee on how to draw and write comic books. Two books I brought. It's always in my backpack. I'm always writing shit down. I have like this,
wait. How to draw comics the Marvel way, right?
No, it's from Stan Lee. It's like an old book from Stan Lee. Like it's like
I think that's the one I got. It's like from 1977. It's like a classic. Like every Marvel comic artist has it.
Yeah, and I brought the book, and I I draw how to write comic books. So even though I watched the video, that's the second episode of writing. But overall, like I self-taught myself I taught myself how to create characters. It was hard at first. But when you start creating characters, it makes it so easy. It makes it so dope because when you're creating characters, it makes it so dope. You know.
Yeah, you know what, and that's the thing. Like, in my phase of the production process, I was the inker, and I would also do some like post-production stuff, like graphic design and things. So, I was jealous of the writers because they were just like, "Oh yeah, man, let's make this guy like addicted to fucking ham sandwiches or something stupid like that." And I didn't get to do any of that kind of stuff with the writing teams because I was the person that got the pencils. And then I had to go and, make the pencil transfer onto the illo board and painstaking ink, like 10 hours a day. And I was just kind of like, damn, I want to write this shit. You know what I mean? But
yeah. And
I know what you mean. I understand what they were doing, and I was in on it. So they knew exactly how I should render this stuff in ink. So I had to keep close tabs on the writing team. Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the greatest thing about being a creator is when you're creating characters. It's the hardest part about creating character is basically putting in your mind that you gotta go in places you don't go down. And for you up and coming creators, I'll give you a tip right now. I have like 4 or 5. Like I have this teenage. It's a classic. It's like the small notebook of like journal ideas. I put comics on front of the thing to remind me of my ideas. When I'm on a train, I see a character, like if I see an idea, if I can see a name, like it could be like Amulet, whatever. I write the name down. Nobody, I write the name. I come to surf the internet, somebody use that, and I have not used that name. I write that character. I write their name down. I'm just saying I've done it. I'm using character names as a prime example. You see a character name, you write it down. You surf the internet, you see some other publisher have not published that character yet. And what you have to do with the creating process is always have a pen and pad on you at all fucking times. Have it on, well, not cussing here, but like have it on you at all times because you don't know what might come to your head. I always talk all the time. Once a creator, always creator. Like I can be on the train, listen to my music, and the thought comes to my head because I do have like random thoughts come pop in my head all the time, and I write it down. Or I have an iPod and I put it in my notepad like, oh, this character is Archer. No, let's make this character. Let's focus on this character. So I think when you're doing a lot of things with creating characters, you have to understand that when it comes to creating, you have to always be in that creative space. Have a pen and pad around you at all times. If you draw idea.
Right, because what's going to happen is if you don't have that immediate way to record that idea, whether it's a pen and pad, a pad of paper and a pen, or like a little audio recorder. It's going to be like a dream, and you're going to forget about it by the end of the day. And you're like, what was that I was thinking about? I had a great idea, and I cannot remember what it is anymore. Yeah, you got to get that ready.
Yeah, I mean, you have to write this. You have to write it down because the hardest part about creating is because the older you get, and Johnny, I tell you, like the older you get, like you have a short-term memory, and you get what end up happening is when you're creating, you get that thought come to your head. Like there's times where like last night, 10 o'clock, I'll probably say 10 to 12 o'clock last night, I went to bed around 12 o'clock last night, and I was creating a character. I'm not gonna say character name, but I was coming up with an idea. Character came to my head, like, damn, she's a goddess. Oh shit, I gotta write this down. And I think a lot of the times we get so caught up in the let me see on chair that invite. Like when you get so caught up in the whole idea, you get so caught up, what if like you get so caught up in this whole idea of creating characters, you gotta understand it's that creative space you put yourself in. You gotta once a creator, always a creator. You create one character, you gotta create another one. I never get satisfied. To me, I never create the same character twice. I always creating brand new characters each and every day if I can. I take 5 to 10 minutes out my day to create a brand new character each and every day. I don't want to sit there and rely on other characters and for other characters I previously created. No, I'll constantly create brand new characters to enhance my skill. So when I finally become that big time writer, and start writing for Marvel, DC, or eventually have my own company one day, I can basically be always in that creative space where I don't have to sit there rely on older characters that was already pre-established to say, what, carry the company, whatever. So when you're creating, you always got to write your ideas down. Like the whole idea, when I tell people all the time, write your stuff down, because when you write it down, it makes it so much easier to remember.
Like part of your creative process, not just writing it down, but I mean, like, what goes through your mind when you come up with the seminal idea for a new character? I mean, I know that you say you write like a new character every day and things like that, and not all of them are going to get used. I mean, because that's a lot of people. Yeah, that's a lot of characters, but still, it's practice. It lets you say, like, well, maybe I want to like combine certain elements that you wouldn't think would go together, and then that makes the character unique. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Hey, Luis.
I mean, overall, I'm glad you asked that. I think that to me, my process, because I've been creating for so damn long, I'm so used to it now. I'm like, it's like writing to me. Writing is so easy for me now because I can take like 1 or 2 days off because I get writer's block a lot of times. And that's the second episode, but still, like,
okay.
Like overall, like when I'm creating characters, I don't overthink it anymore. Like when I first started creating, I used to overthink the character. Oh, this character gotta do this. This character gotta do that. Oh no, this and that. And it's like no, and it's like it's so simple. The most easiest characters. It's like when you look. I was watching two guys. I think it was an old interview of the two guys who created Superman, and they was talking about originally Superman was supposed to be a villain, and it was like no, let's rethink it. Let's make him a hero.
Oh yeah, I saw about that. Superman started out as like a zine. that was made in like the 1930s or something. It was called The Rise of the Superman. Superman, I think, was bald-headed too, and he was supposed to be the one that was fucking everything up. And then they eventually turned that character into Lex Luthor, and then made Superman the good guy. Am I right?
Yeah, I think, and that was,
Okay.
and that, like, I get ideas. Like for me, I watch old interviews with Jack Kirby before he passed, like before he passed. Hey, and I'm a big fan of Jack Kirby. I'm a big fan of Stan Lee. I'm a big fan of the two guys who created Captain America. Even though Bob Kane was a fucking goddamn dick and stole that shit for Bob Kane on Bill Finger, that shit started pissing me off. Cause like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I'm a creator. Is that I'm a 30 creator, and to get my ideas, I'll give some of my ideas. This is kind of like some of my biggest secrets. I'm always right, man. I'm always coming up with ideas. Like, if a thought comes to my head, I write it down. Like, I'm always figuring out, okay, this character. Cause if y'all don't know about me, I'm a big fan of Arrow. I know people hated Arrow. People don't like the show because it's kind of whatever the show is, what it is. But it's like when you're watching that. I said when you're watching that show, I'm a big fan of archery. I love archery. I think archery is a dope character. I think any character that uses archery, from Hawkeye to Green Arrow to Kate Bishop to Red Arrow to Arsenal, whatever. Like, I love archery, and I think that's a dope ass skill to have in real life.
I got a Winchester crossbow for sale if you want it. I never use a fucking thing.
and it's for me because I want to get into archery because I actually find out I have an archery place. Like, I have an archery place that stay near me, and I want to learn archery because it seems like it's like a good skill to have. But like, I love archer characters because I think that is a skill. That's a dope skill that not too many people can really have. So when I create archery. Right. And I think they're so dope because archers are more compelling. Like, it's like I love Batman. It's like, y'all don't know about. I'll tell you how my love for Batman got started. My dad, I grew up like my dad was a big superhero fan. My dad loved Superman. Like, he grew up loving Superman as a kid. He loved Superman.
It was so wait. Is your dad how you got into comics?
Yes, my dad was the main reason I got into comic books. My mom brought me comic book stuff. Like, I was also into James Bond when I was a kid too. But she brought me James Bond movies. But like every Christmas, I probably say every Christmas, it was like actually when it was like Batman toys and all this other good shit. It was actually I put good Batman toys back in the day because I still got the toys I got as a kid on my wall. And I remember like my dad was a Superman fan, and my dad brought me a Superman comic. I forgot what issue it was. Way back in the day, this was comics was way cheap back in the day when I was a kid. And I remember just solely my dad buying a Superman comic book for the first time. My dad brought me a Superman comic book. And I never really got into Superman. I understand why people love the character, but like I remember watching this when Batman animated series was originally running, and this is when I was getting into comic books, and this before I ever wanted to become a creator. I remember watching solely Batman the animated series for the first time in my life, fam. Like, On the Wings, or you true Batman fans know that that's the first episode of Batman the animated series when Kurt Langstrom making his first appearance as Man-Bat. I saw that shit, dude, and that shit changed my life, fam, for the rest of my damn life. Ever since I was a kid, all I wanted was Batman action figures. Matter of fact, I'm a grown ass man. I got Batman sheets on my fucking bed. Like, I got Batman sheets to sleep on. Like
I got an official Batman emblem keychain from DC.
Yeah. So it's like overall, like I grew up on that and talk about how that played into my creative process. Plus, my mom's still living. My dad's no longer here, but my mom and dad let me and my sister be a kid. So I grew up watching Batman the animated series, and I remember watching WB Kids and the original Batman Beyond when it first came on. Like, I watched all this shit when I was a kid, fam. I grew up on it. So watching the stuff.
Yeah, I got you beat, man. I was watching Super Friends in the 70s.
Overall,
that corny fucking show. Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on Super Friends too. Like, overall, like I was telling people all the time, like I grew up on all the great cartoons, man. So watching this stuff, to me in my creative process, it goes back to me being a kid. My parents let me and my sister be a kid. I'm the oldest, my sister's the second old, my sister's the youngest. But overall, like I grew up on this stuff. So when I start creating characters, it goes back to my childhood. Like I grew up on this stuff. So creating characters is a whole different thing. I mean, it's beautiful, man. When you're creating characters, it's dope.
My first comic book I got on a lark. This was back when grocery stores would actually have this rotating kiosk with a bunch of comic books on it, and you could get it at your local supermarket and you'd get them for like back then they were, I think, not even like 65 cents. And I think it was like 1980. And I saw this comic book called Time Warp, published by DC. And it was an anthology of science fiction and horror stories. And I was like, Ma, I want this damn comic book. And she's like, okay. So, she pretty much was pretty permissive. She didn't really care really what kind of media I consumed, as long as it looked like pornography or anything, which you could not get a hold of back then. But I got a comic book. She just figured it was superheroes, or it was like Archie or something. And I opened this thing up, and I could read back then. I was pretty young, but at the same time, I could read the words and I could understand exactly what was going on. I understood the story flow from panel to panel to panel, which, that's for a later episode. But still, it had this first story where these reptilian aliens came down to Earth and just started flame throwing everybody. And I'm like in like first grade or kindergarten at this time, and I'm like, wow, I was so freaked out watching these like men and women and children running down the street, just burning in flames. And like the creators did not care. There was like no filter. Hey there, on this stuff. And then the next story was about this guy who he crept into this person's house to rob them. And they had a pet parrot. And the parrot was like, intruder alert, intruder alert. And you see him grab the parrot and squeeze it with one hand and kill the thing. And it just ruined my day. But that was my first comic. I'll never forget it. Even for better or for worse, for good or bad, that really affected me. I mean, that really got me into like the science fiction and the horror legs of comic books. That's where I started liking things like Man-Thing, Swamp Thing. Howard the Duck was pretty scary. That was going on at the time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Howard the Duck was a horror comic. And, forget about that stupid movie George Lucas made. That doesn't count. But like the actual writing for Howard the Duck, I think Gene Colan did it. Really, really brilliant stuff. Here you take this. We're going to take a duck. We're going to make him, talk about character creation. We're going to take a duck. We're going to make him sentient. We're going to make him like a wisecracking, jerk. And then throw him into the Florida Everglades, this really creepy, swampy area that so happens to be a magical realm, a nexus of all realities. I mean, where did he come up with that? You know what I mean?
And I'm saying, and that's the beauty of creating characters. Like I said all the time, for you up-and-coming creators, there's no such thing as a dumbass idea. If you can work through that brain, I talk about there's a character called Astro. I'm still working on his character. He's called Metro. Like overall, I've been creating so much to the point where like you can give me a whack name and run with it, and it's like, fam, like I love taking a character you may think it sounds stupid and just bring it to life. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like no character is a dumb idea. I have so many people walk to me. I have like a lot of friends who want to get comic books.
All right, I have a challenge for you. Create a character using milk apple.
Huh?
Milk apple.
Okay.
There, create a character.
With milk apple.
Hey, you know what? I feel like I'll take that challenge. And I know a lot of people don't want the challenge.
No, that would be fucking funny. That's brilliant, Luiz.
Hey, you can just make a comedy out of it. Like you can make a comedy character. Like for me, matter of fact, I'm gonna take that challenge. I'm actually gonna take that challenge when we get done with the stream. I'm actually gonna take that challenge to create it. The next episode, I'm gonna tell you how I did it.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should make him like this moist boy who happens to have an apple for a head, and he's got a face on the apple. And like he goes to the bars and tries to get pick up women because he's like a PUA. That'd be funnier than shit. I'm reading somebody in the chat right now. Is it Pazam 1839 thing? What is it? How you say it? Pazam thing? Yeah, Psalm 1839 is good. It's going good, but I have persistent fear. I'm getting.
I get writer's block. Just whatever. My writing reading's fucked up, but I get writer's block. My advice to you, I say this, man. If you get writer's block, take a couple minutes, take an hour off from it, and then go right back to it, or 2 hours. Like I often say this too, because I mean that's gonna be the second episode on my writing. When you're doing this stuff, because creating can go back to writing as well, but like I feel like when you're doing this stuff, I get writer's block a lot of times. But you got to understand, even with creators block, I get creators block. That's what this episode's called. This series called creators block. Is because you get creators block as well, because you create the same character that for the previous character you created, and that's not a bad thing. I don't want people to ever feel like if you got a duplicate character. It's just that you run out of ideas, and sometimes it's just keep it simple. Keep it 100% simple. I think when you're creating characters, you got to keep it simple. A lot of times we get so caught up in this. I got to have this dope character. This character got to have this and that. It's like, man, keep it simple, man. I'm like, people don't realize, like, and it's the beauty of creating character. This is what I love about being MGTOW. When you're a MGTOW, I mean, I hate this, is not MGTOW related, but like this is MGTOW related. When you're a MGTOW and you get to focus on you and you get to focus on your hobbies, your passion, your love, creating characters, and you got this whole space around you. I say this all the time for you people out there that struggling creating characters. You know, I like my first character was not the best character, and I ended up making him now he's probably my main characters when I get when I start getting my feet off the ground. He's one of the main characters I publish it. But I'm thinking about going independent route, going to like a newspaper like for the AJC whatever, and going to them get my comics published that way, and then work my way up to like illustrations like that. But overall, like what I mean is creating. It's so much fun, man. Like I know people hate it because they get so much man, I come up with original idea, dude. That's the fun part of creating, man. Like Johnny will tell you that, like Johnny worked for illustrating company and tell you, like creating is so much fun, and people hate it, but it's like it's nothing like creating a brand new character and you feeling pride at the end of the damn day, whether they character black, white, whatever.
I'm sorry.
But
Well, no, like I was saying, like I was joking around a little while ago. I was like, Luiz can draw really well. He's a pretty badass inker as well. And I was like, you should, I think this was on one of Traversals or SFM's podcast. I was like, you should make the Adventures of Hoka, where he can draw Hoka on a bicycle popping wheelies and using his headband as a boomerang and stuff like that. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it sounds stupid, but at the same time, this is real life, and this is where we draw a lot of our creative inspiration from. So what might start out as a joke becomes like a huge selling idea.
And nobody knows this. Like I'm going back to Spider-Man. Even though I feel like Homecoming's gonna be like a fucking repeat of the previous Spider-Man movies and stuff. But I feel like Spider-Man, like when you see Spider-Man, like Spider-Man started off as a damn joke. Like nobody knows if Stan Lee created Spider-Man. He was talking about how he just read a comic. He was reading something called Spider, and he was like, it would be kind of cool to have a character be a dope because Spider. He didn't put man at the end of it first. He met what's the other guy there? I forgot the guy, Jack Kirby, I think, who did the original Spider-Man costume. And he was saying how Spider-Man started off as a dumbass idea at first, and people thought Spider-Man and a lot of illustrators was like, get the hell out of this. A character called Spider-Man working, and look where it's at today. Batman was considered a joke at one time. You go back and I hate this fucking broke my damn heart because I grew up on Adam West Batman. I remember watching the reruns of it, like when
I remember that. Yeah, I did too, man.
I remember I grew up on Batman 1966. I can't because I got like the whole season on Blu-ray, the whole complete series on Blu-ray. I love that show, and it's one of my favorite shows of all time. So when Adam West died, I kind of felt teared up. Like my dad, even though my dad was a Batman fan, my dad loved Adam West, and I've been watching reruns of that show with my dad. So I teared up a little when he passed away because I was like, damn, man, it's like I feel like a piece of me died. But he 88 years old. He lived long enough to see his life. He did what he wanted to do. But like when when Adam West passed, and I was telling people like, yo, the reason why I am the person I am today, the reason why I'm the geek I am today, because I didn't get into comic books until I was 23, 24. But like that's when I became my own adult, and I started realizing, said, you know what, this is who I am. I'm proud of who I am, and this is what I've accomplished. But when you get so much going on, and when you're creating characters, this one is such a dumbass idea. People thought Spider-Man back in the day when Jack Lee, well, not with Jack Lee, but when created Spider-Man, he said people laughed at him. Now Spider-Man is a big household name, so there's no such thing as a dumb character. If you dedicated, you're persistent enough. I'm very persistent enough. People tell me no, I consider the answer yes, because you don't listen to me. You can respect me one day. So my whole idea has always been, when you're creating characters, man, you gotta understand, man. It's like there's such thing as a dumb idea. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. You got dope creation. You tell them, you know what? Get the hell out of my damn way. I'm gonna make this character popular. And this character gonna be big. You gotta understand.
Well, yeah, I know exactly. I mean, a lot of the comic book creators, especially with DC, which has got such a huge history, and they had to go from their golden age to the silver age, and then bam, 1986, Frank Miller comes in and makes The Dark Knight Returns. And in it, I mean, you have Batman coming out of retirement. He's old, he's creaky, and he's trying to get he finds out that the Joker has escaped from prison and he's come out of retirement. So Batman comes out of retirement. And I remember it was a very dark, and it was actually a lot of MGTOWs hate postmodernism, but it was still a postmodernist book. But he still kept on to some of his old golden age values. And I remember one scene where he saves a Boy Scout's life, and the Boy Scout curses, and Batman goes, "Watch your language, son." And that was so freaking, and Batman's bleeding to death and everything, and that's all he cares about. I was like, that was so cool right there.
Yeah. I mean,
and that is something that you could always put into the creative process. That type of like maybe outmoded morality, that outmoded sensibility that you could infuse into a 21st century superhero. I mean, that's just one creative staple that you could always take.
What kind of works for me to create characters is having some sort of like scenario or like a bit of a story going on, right?
Yeah.
That's what I find much more easier for me. Not just something that
okay.
Blue, right?
So you start with the story first, and then the character develops.
Not a story, but like kind of like, but what if they were supposed to be like, kind of like the character for this type of scenario or something, right? Like kind of like like I have pretty much like a setting, like I don't know, like the Amazon, and I kind of sort of try and create a character like that, right? Using sort of like inspiration from that.
Okay.
Example, you get me?
Yeah, no. You take the setting first, and you're like, okay, what could grow out of that, and like, what kind of character do I need in order to navigate that setting? And I think that's a great idea. Do you work like that, No Filter? I mean, do you look at that way, or do you think the character first, and then we'll put them into the scenario? What's up?
I think my creative process is 100% different. It's like mine's is character first, and then I create the setting. Where like if I create a character, like I'm creating a character right now, she's a goddess. I can't get a character name, whatever, but like she's a goddess. She's a goddess. She's kind of like Wonder Woman character, but her character is kind of different, and it's kind of like legacy character. So her mother.
Right. Do you feel that you were like kind of inspired? I haven't seen the Wonder Woman movie yet, but like, were you inspired sort of by the Wonder Woman movie, and you were like watching?
Yeah, and like, it's not bad. It's kind of like I was inspired by that, because Wonder Woman was one of my favorite female characters of all time. Like despite her being one of the feminist icon character, I admire Wonder Woman for her character. To me, in general, is that I admire that character. I love Wonder Woman as a character. So to me, when I see the character, it's for me, a lot of people, to me, this is my process. I create the process. I focus on the character, and I think to myself, okay, do I want to make her a demigod? If I'm creating if I'm creating a white guy or a black guy, and they're a billionaire, and like I'm like Johnny, I'm glad you brought that up too, because when I'm creating a character too, I often think about, do I want to make them attorney, a billionaire? I think about the profession. I think about what they do outside of the costume when they're not
right, because that's part of the scenario. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like that, and to me, I focus on the profession, what they do outside of the costume, because I actually write my characters they actually have professions, and they got to run the companies. They got to make the money. In order for them to have all this high tech gadgets, they got to make the money somewhere. Like when Black Arrow, I'm not gonna say the other main character profession name, Black Arrow. How you was talking about aerodynamics? Like I never thought about it, and now that you gave me that tip, I think about when I'm creating a billionaire. I think about how this person access all this wealth and resources like that. So
because if you get into aerodynamics or the aerospace industry and stuff, well, first of all, I mean, you're going to be really good with the concept of flight, which is what an aero does, and at the same time, this guy can make a lot of money off of a business like that. Yeah.
So overall, when you're creating a character, you gotta understand. Even when I talk about when people think billionaires, oh, this character is a billionaire. You got Black Panther. He's the wealthiest character in comic book history with vibranium because in Wakanda. So he owns.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So overall, Tony Stark makes his money from weapons.
Well, I mean, the dude's African royalty. I mean, he's generationally wealthy. He was born into that shit.
Then you have Tony Stark, who he makes his money from weapons and stuff like that, and funding Shield and stuff like that. So the whole idea that Tony Stark is a wealthy billionaire, he's a billionaire, so he makes tons of money. Oliver Queen, I don't know where he gets his money from. Bruce, I don't know where he gets his money from. But I'm saying overall, like ever since you gave me that tip, bro, every time being that character, he has to. I figure out now how did this person take? How did this person invest all this wealth? So thing is, I focus on the character, the profession, how they maintain the resources, whether it's a Fortune 500 company, what drove this person, what this person is this character fun, is this character dark, is this character a god, demigod, a goddess, or even for me, I'm working on villains now, and I'm creating like extraterrestrial androids. I'm a big fan of Brainiac. He's one of my favorite.
Oh yeah, Brainiac. He almost scares me. I like that dude. Yeah.
So it's like, to me, I'm a big fan of like Ultron. I'm a big fan of like advanced AIs like Jarvis. Like, overall, I'm a big fan of whole ideas of like extraterrestrial life and that connected knowledge and always want to be smart, like always wanting to destroy planets. And like, I'm a big fan of Darkseid and Thanos. Like, I'm a big fan of this stuff. So when you create characters, even creating villains, but even I noticed to me, and I say this, and this to be honest with you now, creating heroes, I've been creating heroes for so long. I'm so good at it. But creating villains, I love creating villains, man. Creating the bad guy for your main character is nothing like creating a villain that's sadistic, man. It's nothing like creating like Joker. But Bill Finger, he put his finger in that character. I love Joker, man. Joker is a sadistic character that murders and just like he don't care. Like he just a insane psychopath. And you think like, how the fuck is it Batman? Why the fuck did he let his asshole live? Like he just so crazy with it,
Well, yeah, not only that, I mean, that's the great thing about Batman villains because they're all completely nuts. They're not really driven by money. Like, you'll have somebody like Humpty Dumpty. That guy creeps me out. He's this, like, fat, deformed freak, and he becomes a Batman villain. Or you have Calendar Man, who's obsessed with dates, and he will always commit his crime on a certain date or holiday. And I was just like, that is so cool,
Yeah. I mean, that's mad cool. And that's the thing about creating characters. I draw inspiration from a lot of creators, old to new. It's like, creating characters, man. Y'all guys out there that's not into comic books, let me tell you something. There's nothing like sitting down, coming up with a character, man, and just enjoying it. Just putting yourself into this world. Like, this is so cool. Like I love creating characters, man. And I think a lot of the times we get so caught up in this whole idea of character got to be original. Like, dude, just keep it simple. Like a lot of people they overthink it. But
you know what? I'll say like, I mean, you guys talking about kind of general, talking creating characters, but what about like kind of like their features, kind of like like we don't know like what they like to wear, how they dress, pretty much like fucking pretty like shit like that. Do they like to dress elegantly or fucking kind of like nice and classy, or they just don't fucking care, right? Like kind of like to pretty much kind of to I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, well, no. What Luis is saying is like, how is the artist gonna render this guy? What does the comic look? What does the costume look like? What are his habits? What does he do? Like, okay, here let's watch off from.
Yeah, to give him some more
we have
information about the character. Yeah, there you go.
We got a dude, Stuart Hunkler. I wish he was here today, but like, he has Nut Job. Nut Job is a junkyard Iron Man. This guy is a working man who got, he got fucking divorced and ass raped in court. His wife is evil, and she's got this this alpha male that she's leeching onto, who's trying to both ruin his life in collusion with the state. So what does this guy do? He takes his ingenuity, goes to the junkyard, and makes a suit to fight this shit. And that's great. I mean, what I mean? That's brilliant. That's brilliant. This is some guy's a welder or a mechanic. And he's like, I don't have any money, but fuck it, man. I got a junkyard.
Hey, dude, and that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even like with Stuart, like he can create, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, you can create a funny character, you can create a dark character. To me, because I go through a lot of mental issues, I go dark, twisted. I go dark and twisted.
Oh, I know you do. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a character called Chuckles. And this motherfucker is he's way worse than the Joker. This dude, literally, he enjoys torturing people. And for him, it's like, for him, he has no sympathetic. But the thing about him is that he has a personality disorder, where it's like he murders people, but he's kind of like this dark, twisted, sadistic guy. And my main hero, for him, it's like, yo, this dude, like the first issue I did the issue yesterday, and it's the first time where the hero meets the character. He's in the bank. And he has a gun pointed to the girl's head, and he's like, you don't have to do this. Like, I'm gonna stop you. He was like, you have the choices: either let me go. He said you can either save this woman and let me and my henchman go and let me go out and steal money from the bank, or you can save this woman. And he asked his choice whether I could. He tried, and the hero, my hero, he chooses to try to stop the bank robbers and save the woman, but the guy, and he Chuckles get that gun. Puts a gun head and blows that girl brains out in front of the hero head. And that
man, dude, I got a backstory for Chuckles. You know how he's got that dichotomy, right? He's a good guy. He's a good guy sometimes, and other times completely off the hook, right? So, hey, have him be during the day a children's birthday clown. He loves kids. Man.
No, you know what's even more funny about that? That was his origin. Like, he was on.
Oh, really? I was right.
That was mostly his origin. Like, he kind of grew up. Like, he kind of grew up as an orphan mostly his whole life. Like, he was abandoned by his mama. His father was never around. Biological mother didn't really want him. Biological mother didn't really want him, so he kind of was put in the foster care system. And just one day in the foster care, he kind of like to clown one of the kids having a birthday. And this clown for hire kids, they cheering up, and his whole life he graduates from high school, decides to become a clown fighter, does a good job at it. And his boss, basically, he's a real good clown. He's good at his job, but his employer don't want to pay him. And it's like, you know what? It's like, I pay you what you figure. I pay you what I think you're worth. And he ends up stabbing the guy like a whole bunch of times. And next thing you know, the whole situation is the next day the police officers at the scene of the crime. And basically, Jerry, he has to cover it all up. He kind of, whatever happens, and the police officers investigate him, asking him, when the last time you seen him, you was the last person to see him alive. Did he have anybody else? And he basically he's trying to convince it. And what ended up happening was when he ends up stabbing his boss, that personality just snaps, and he ends up becoming Chuckles, a murderous person that just, for him, he enjoys torturing his people. But the thing about him is the fact that his backstory is he grew up basically with this personality disorder, and it's kind of like a sympathy. It plays on mental health. This whole idea that this guy had a person, this one incident snapped him. It's kind of like watching a person. It's kind of like watching Punisher, right? It's kind of like watching Frank Council, right? He's this guy. Yeah. He's married, a family, and just that one moment would cause a motherfucker to snap like that, and he just snapped off. But instead of him becoming a good guy, he does something so evil and sadistic, and to that point where, and that villain, when he puts that gun to that girl's head, he blows the girl brains out, and the hero is like, and then in the next panel, in the next chapter, the hero's like, fuck, man, I fucked up royally. Damn, how do I stop this?
You know what? Yeah. No filter. Here's my challenge to you. Why don't you make the book not about Chuckles' hero, the hero that he fights. Make it about Chuckles. I mean, that would be. I mean, a lot of people would be like, "What the hell is this guy writing about?" And I think it would be really challenging to your audience, and I think that would be a really, really good seller. I mean, don't make him look too much like the Joker because that got hard.
No, he's not like he don't have his face painted and that stuff. He's like a regular guy, but he's just that personality. Crazy, sadistic. It's like he's crazy and fucking sadistic. I have ideas of how I want him, but like I'm still working on the character. But
have you? I don't remember the guy's name, but I think his name was like Bobo the Clown or some shit like that. It was what? It was some guy that worked as a clown, as for his day job. He went to kids' birthday parties, but he would fucking take kids away in his clown costume because apparently he was like popular or something, and he would kill them.
Oh wait, in real life?
Yeah, in real life.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Pogo the Clown.
Pogo there you go. Yeah, Pogo.
John Wayne Gacy. I used to live in his fucking neighborhood, dude.
Really?
I'm not kidding you. And they found 33 corpses in this dude's, buried underneath his backyard. 33 kids were buried in his yard in Chicago, Illinois. I swear, dude, it was 1978. John Wayne Gacy, go look it up. He was called Pogo the Clown. He was also a business owner. He owned a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise. And, he was like a quote-unquote pillar of the community and everything. Turned out he was a serial killer. I'm not kidding.
Dude. And to me, I like villains. I like villains that got that fucking crazy murder sadistic, like Victor Zsasz from fucking Batman. He kills a victim, he marks his skin. Like I remember I was playing Arkham City. Yes, I brought the collection to my PS4, and I was playing Arkham City again. And Victor Zsasz.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, good game, man. Good game.
That dude was fucking murderous sadistic, and I got this idea. I was like, dude, I got to motherfucking make a villain like this dude. This dude's deranged. This dude deranged as fuck, dude. Like the whole idea, like the Like the whole idea when he's sitting there and you gotta go to the fucking answer the phone and you gotta tap the phone where he's calling from, and he's sitting there. He was telling stories about like the villains he killed, the victims he killed, and how his victim begging and pleading not to kill, and he just stabs them. Like, damn, fam, that's fucked up. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. You can build upon Chuckles using inspiration from Pogo the Clown.
Yeah. I mean, you could like. Pogo or John Wayne Gacy was a homosexual pedophile. Okay, just so you know, he would only get young boys, and he would handcuff them. He would drug them, handcuff them. He would rape them, and then he would kill them, usually by strangulation. And then what he would do is he would bury them in either his crawl space or his backyard. I don't think Chuckles should do that. I think Chuckles, like you said, no filter that. He was robbing a bank in one of the scenarios that you had presented. But like at the same time, you people wouldn't be able to sympathize with somebody who was like carrying out that type of pathology.
But the thing is, like, but the thing is, like, how the reason why I did fix the situation where, like, I'm on issue 80 of this character. This is the first character I ever created. I'm on issue 80 now of that character. And basically the reason why I haven't done that because my character's 10 years. I think he's 8 years into his career now. 8 years into his career, so he's so experienced now that he starts to deal with villains that just for some reason that he just can't punch. This is a situation he can't punch his way out of it, and that's why I have him when he's in the bank. He grabs the lady and he says, "You got two choices here. You can either let me and my henchman go steal the money from the bank, or you can say this woman." And then whatever, and basically my hero has a choice to either say this woman or let Chuckles and his henchman go. But him trying to be a hero because he's trying to stop the crime, he tried to save the lady and stop it, but Chuckles ended up pulling the gun, blowing the lady head out in that situation. But even though some murderous sadistic and it can turn off a lot of people, I'm doing it. Just saying is that basically that as a hero, you can't save everybody. Sometimes people want to die. And the next panel is that he literally in that bunker. He's literally breaking down in tears, like, fuck, I couldn't save her. And he's a superhero. He's been doing this for 8 years. He's like, and he's telling his friend sidekick, is like, fuck, man, I fucked up. I can't. He don't say fucked up, but like, I can't save this girl. I couldn't save her. Like, yeah, I mean, yes, it was a woman, but I could not save her because my job as hero to save people. But I could not save this person. So it's like, and I'm saying, like, but I'm gonna take your guys' advice to heart. I'm really gonna try to focus on a lot more of that character. But it's Chuckle's first appearance too. So it's his first appearance. He's gonna make more appearance right now, but he's gonna make. Yeah, it's his first appearance. So I want to have it more like this. So later on, set the character up, so I can actually give him a good backstory because his first appearance. So overall, but like, and for me, to me, that's what I'm saying. I love about creating. It's so
see, no filter. That's the thing. You never know what your audience is gonna like. Yeah. I mean, Wolverine was this one-shot hero in a Hulk comic in 1971, and then you had in 1972 the Punisher, who fought Spider-Man, and it turned out, people were writing in and say, I want to see more Wolverine, I want to see more Punisher, and next thing you know, boom, they're legends, and they all had their own title and their own movies and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you guys coming from. I'm really, and I'm saying for me, and that's what I'm saying about being a creator. You guys gotta be open. I mean, if you're a creator, especially if you're a creator, you gotta be open to other ideas. Especially if people like Johnny, Johnny, he's been in the industry before. Luiz, if you like, listen, taking advice from fellow other creators as well. Even if they're not experienced as you are, it's always good to bounce ideas off other people too as well. Because,
yeah, and I mean, like Luiz has got some great ideas right there. Just like saying, "Hey, dude, here's the milk apple challenge." That would be great, and I'd love to hear Stuart Hunkler get in. That would be. We've got a lot of episodes ahead of us, so hopefully Stu will get in one of them as well, because
I mean, and
it's got some good ideas.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, when I tell people all the time, like, we got to understand when you're creating characters, man. You got to understand creating is hard. I don't want to ever think it's easy. It's hard, man. But if you dedicated to the craft enough, like this, we'll talk about why mental is important, especially if you a person. If you got a girlfriend, you cannot be the stuff we talking about right now. This ideas. You have if you had a girlfriend, man, you cannot be what you talk. Basically, said is you cannot be in the creative space you have because you always got somebody else to worry about. You gotta take her shopping. You gotta take her to dinner. You spending money on her, and when you could be spending money on your comic books, or basically always reinvesting, trying to figure things out. Like, you gotta understand, man, creating is not easy. And to me, that's why I often say women are the ultimate dream killers, because to me having a girlfriend at a time in my life, I'm a great writer, man. I'm getting better and better each and every day. I'm taking you guys' advice. I'm learning from it. I'm challenging myself. But if I had a girlfriend, man, like I tell people all the time, if I had a girlfriend, I don't know what the fuck I would do with myself. Because
you know what? When you got a woman in your life like that, here's what the problem is. You're spending money on her. You're spending money on yourself to impress her. You're taking out a fuckload of time. And I have to tell you, if you're going to be a comic book artist or a comic book writer, or even getting into bookmaking, okay, that is a very time-consuming process. And you know what? When you're inking 10 pages in one day, and your bitch calls up and says, "I want to go to the mall. I want some shoes. You're gonna pay for it, Johnny." It's like, I'm working. I got stuff to do. This is how I make my money, and I don't have time for this. Midtown doesn't have to worry about that nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. To me, it's like with these episodes, I know it's not Midtown related, but still, like, man, guys, like, this is why I tell people all the time, this channel is about male improvement. And this series for you creators out there, this episode is for you creative guys out there, man, because you guys got to understand creating it's a process, man. It's a process. You constantly got to always reinvent yourself. Figure ways out. you know, to me, like I create female characters. I ain't gonna lie to you, even though I stay away from women altogether. To me, it's like I have a hard time creating women characters because I'm not a woman. I don't know what shit women go through. I don't know what it was like. Well, I challenge myself to say, you know what? Even if I create a female character, I don't make her a feminist. I don't make her, fight equality. I just treat her as a human being. Like, yo, she's a person. So the whole idea when you're creating characters, man, you gotta understand it's hard as fuck, man. Creating characters.
If you want to create a female character, you can basically create a man, and then have her make her like really do stupid shit.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
turn him into a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't understand, man. Creating is hard as fuck, man. And that's what I'm trying to tell people all the time. And it's so true. And people are saying it for so many years. Women are the ultimate dream killers, man. They would kill your fucking dream, crush that shit. Like, and like me, like when I was at my cousin's graduation party, like my cousin, I'm not gonna say my cousin, I ain't gonna say my cousin's name. She was like, no filter. She was like, you could get a girlfriend. I'm like, yo, I don't want a girlfriend. Like, I don't want that type of shit. I don't want. Like, no, like, and she was like, oh, well, I have anger issues. She was like, a girl can fucking you get a temper. No, I know the shit test. I know the shit that comes with it when it comes to dealing with females. Like, dude, like, this shit is no fun, fam. Like, people think that shit is fun. It's not fun at all. Like,
there you go. There's a female character for her. You can name her shit test.
No, people like, no, for me, dude, it's like people don't understand, dude, the shit test and all the other shit that coming with it. That shit is no fun. It's not fun. It's not. I don't care.
Well, she would make a perfect villain. I'm fucking kidding, man.
Hey. Oh yeah, that'd actually be pretty nice. She'd be like, "Hey, solve this riddle or solve this puzzle," and then she'd just be like, "You failed." Even if he does, even if he does solve the riddle or the puzzle to a satisfactory goal, she's like, I don't feel that that's right, and then she fucking kills him. Hey,
dude, call her shit test.
I mean, but like I said before, like, this is what I'm talking about. This series is for people that want to be creators. If you want to create, and it ain't this. Creators Block is not just for people that want to be in the comic book industry. If you're writing a novel, like if you're writing whatever, a graphic novel, it's just literature, a piece of literature, just anything in life. It's like,
Yeah, or like we have a lot of programmers in the MGTOW communities. And I mean, they can make video games with these kind of characters. So,
yeah, and that's what I'm literally saying about. That's what I'm saying about this series. That this series is important because I want to grow past the red pill rage. I still get my little moments and stuff, but I really want it. I want to help guys out there to understand that we can enhance your skills. For you up and coming guys, the second episode is gonna be writing. So overall, that episode is gonna be talking about writing. Plot story, how story a structure. Give yourself a topic, come up with a list of topics to talk about, and just challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to do action, it's cool. There's nothing wrong with having action in comic books, but you need one thing I learned ever since I started writing comic books. This is gonna be the second episode, but like ever since I started writing and creating, I am good at heart-to-heart moments. I have the heroes talk on the rooftop about life, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that's not normal in comic book movies. Even in comic book movies, you see it all the time. They always doing superhero things, but you don't see them live a normal life. Like, oh, yeah, my life is so different, or
Right. Because what they have to do is they have to package that into an hour and a half to 2 hours, and they don't have time for that because the popcorn and Mountain Dew crowd does. They just want to see Hulk smash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you got two guys up on the rooftop talking about like, women or being discriminated because you're a man at a job or whatever, you didn't get the promotion or whatever have you, that is something that I think would draw a lot of readers in because they're taking a few panels out or even a whole page to get that kind of dialogue going. And I like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. To me, is like with creating too, is that people, when you create a character, sometimes going dark is not a bad thing. it's like to me one of my characters is Black Arrow. One of my characters literally Black Arrow. Mom was a drug addict, dad was an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Right.
His one of his mentors taught him archery. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a good backstory to have for any character. Like, you gotta have a good backstory of what drive that character, what drove this person to become this person that he is. Like, maybe he had a fucked up childhood. You know, maybe he, you know, like Black Arrow seeing his mom do drugs, like he fucking inspired this shit. He hated drug dealers growing up. So, like, you gotta have a dope backstory for a character that makes sense. And also,
you know what I mean? Like bouncing off that, Black Arrow is, you know, he runs an aerodynamics firm or an aviation firm, and one of his nemesis is a drug dealer who's using his airplanes to traffic drugs. You know, I mean, that's something right there, and he realizes that there's like corruption right in his own company.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's an idea.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm deeply saying. It's like people like go deep sometimes. Nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong. Take your own life experiences. The reason why I thrive as a creator is I take my life experiences, whether it's losing my dad, whether it's being almost going to take my life, being shitted on by a school system, being almost treated on, and seeing so much shit going on in my life, going through so much things in my life. One thing I sincerely learned about my life overall was the whole idea was just basically learning this about life, man, is that take your life experiences and put them into your characters, because you know it, whether you know it or not. I tell you flat out, when I tell people something, like, I don't tell the characters names, whatever. When I tell people about my creations and the characters I create, I get so much. People say, man, damn, that's some dark shit. Damn, that shit sound good, because I take my life experiences and put them into my characters, and it kind of like you sympathize with them a little bit. You kind of understand why the character does what he does, you know.
So you do take a lot of your own personal history and infuse that in your character.
And before I tell you what's right now, I enjoy that. To me, I like when creators do that, because it's like, to me, it's like, you know, my thing. I'm a black man in America. I'll tell you flat out, Johnny. I'll tell you how good of a creator I am. I'm so good as a creator right now. I don't even focus on the character skin color. I write the character and I really focus on the person, whether it's a male or female, and I write the character as a human being. I don't focus on, this character is a female, so let's talk about feminism. No, I just treat it as I would treat a male character. And like I have created so many black characters. Like, I don't even focus on them being superheroes, doing superhero things. And that's what I'm talking about. It's for you black creators out there, for you white creators out there. You ain't got to. This is why I disagree with this whole idea that, oh, I wish we need more black creators. We need more white creators. We need to have more minority. We need to have more creators look just like them. Here's the thing. One thing I learned this to me, and I think this is so true going into creating. Just because you have a black creator, it doesn't mean necessarily you're gonna tell the best story. Maybe a white guy can tell that.
Right, exactly. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna like wind up putting yourself into a little sandbox, and you're just like, okay, well, this is a black character, so I can't do X, Y, and Z. And I agree with that. And I think that you also have to understand what the audience is going to stand about the character when they read it. So that's going to be, you know, I see that you want to go this route. You know, my character does this, and he so happens to be black. Don't worry about it. And I think that's a great thing to do. Or he's Asian, and don't fucking worry about it. Or the character's a woman. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know. And that's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of these characters don't make it so far. Oh, this character's gay. It's like when they announce a gay character in the comic books, it's always, oh, this character's gay. This character's transgender. Stop focusing on the character being gay and transgender, and just write the character like you would just write a human being. And people fuck with the character. You know, like, to me, and that's the thing with modern day comic books. They say, when I enter the industry, I want to change how we view stuff. Like, I'm a black man in America, but you know what? I don't do none of that race baiting bullshit with my comic books when I write.
Right.
Because I feel like it turns off so many people. I want to appeal to a white audience, a black audience.
Well, I mean, you are aware, No Filter, that Marvel is actually going to roll back all that SJW shit that they've been doing around November this year, because they realize that they're losing fucking money.
And that would creator's block too. So we're going to discuss a lot of these issues. And like, now that we got that topic out the way, like I want to go into this topic because this to me, I'm a creator myself. Johnny Midnight, you read comic books. I'm pretty sure you can relate to this. Like, what's your opinion on, like, do you think comic books, because I mean comic books for so many years have always been political. Like, I mean, yeah, you had Green Arrow and Green Lantern back in the day talking about drug addiction, but like, do you think in comic books mix
So did Daredevil, yeah.
the political climate nowadays? Do you think it makes good, or do you think it should put, do you think they should add politics to comic books, just keep it 100% fantasy and not focus on anything real life related?
Well, okay, no filter. I am interested in politics, but I'm not a politician. So anything political I say, and this goes to anybody listening to the crowd, do not trust what I have to say because I don't know a whole lot. But I will say this. Politics can be interesting in any form of media, whether it be video games, a regular book, a comic book, a TV show, a movie, whatever have you. I understand that. It gets a plot rolling. But at the same time, when you smash somebody over the head with, say, left-wing politics, or, yeah, even alt-right politics, and it's like, okay, we have the gay guy, we have the black guy, we have the, sexually confused guy, and here they are all represented. Do I get a cookie now? I fucking hate that. Just let the person be what they are and act within the plot. And if they're just a regular, black guy or a regular white guy or just a regular female, whatever have you, let that be let that not be the focus of the action. Let it not be the focus of the plot. I think that readers do want to get a bit of drama. They want, even more and more to this day, they want that kind of backstory drama, like you were talking. Two guys up on the roof, scoping things out, staking things out, but they're also taking a break to talk about a few things. But then they want to get into the action because that's comic books, man. We want to see, we want to see Wolverine go snick, snick. We want to see Storm build a tornado out of thin air. We want to see Kitty Pryde, run through a wall. And that is what people are eventually waiting for. But when you take a political issue or a social or economic issue and then beat the reader over the head with it, then it gets to be way too much. I think that an example was when Captain America and Falcon, this was back in 2012, they were going to bust up a Tea Party rally. And they called all the Tea Partiers fascists and enemies of the state. This is Captain America. And he considered people who believed in the Constitution as enemies. What the fuck was that all about? And that is true. That really happened. I mean, that is an issue right out there. And Marvel's going way too far with that. DC, not so much. Not so much.
And like to add my opinion on this topic, I haven't brought a Marvel comic book in months because it's like I'm tired of this social just warrior bullshit. Let me tell you something, man. I love Iron Man. I love Tony Stark, and I feel like, especially with Iron Man being so much involved in the MCU, it's like people nowadays they listen with this shit. It's like, oh, let's appeal to these idiots who don't buy the comic books. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic up, I want to bring this up too, because I'm glad John, we can talk about this shit because I'm literally fucking tired, and I agree with you saying what I am a black man in America, dude. I am fucking tired of gay people, transgender people, women talk about diversity. We need more diverse characters. Like, shut the fuck up already. Like, god damn it. Like, if you want to create your characters, get up off your lazy ass like I did and create your own shit. It ain't that damn hard, man. Like, look, create your own character, and if you want to make your character gay, and then you want to make the whole thing about the character being gay, good luck with the character being popular, because guess what happened? You can't rely. I'll talk about, well, this is one DC character I fucking can't stand.
Okay.
It's one character I can't stand. It's Batwoman. Like, I think Kathy Kane. Batwoman. She's a lesbian. They make her. It's the whole thing about her is she's a gay character. I'm like, you do understand that's why she fucking failed. But I go back. Let's go Marvel back in the day before Marvel, because Marvel comic books are shit now. Back in the day, let's go back to Miss Marvel, right? When she had that one piece black suit.
Wait. Which Ms. Marvel? We talk about the blonde one. We have a black Ms. Marvel.
The blind Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Then when she had the little black one piece baby suit, whatever thing, and she was I guess she was the one piece suit, whatever. When comic was over sexualized, whatever. Her series back in the day, because I got her series, whatever, and I read her comic books. I'm like, damn, these things are shit nowadays, because it was always about, oh, this is a female character. This is a female character. We gotta beat you over the head every 2 seconds to mind you a female character. She-Hulk. Her solo series sucked. And I'm like, the problem I have with this, especially me being a writer myself, I talk about this all the time. Like me, I'm a black man in America. I see so many black people bitch about, I had did previous rant before, hours before this, about pro-blacks bitching about racism and white supremacy. Like, yo, shut the fuck up about it. I don't want to hear you talking about it, dude. Like,
that'd be like Elektra beating the shit out of Bullseye, and then her saying, you know, they got to make that little jab. Good thing I'm not on my period. Otherwise, you'd be dead. I mean, you know, exactly. I mean, why do they have to beat you over the head with that kind of message? It's stupid.
It's like they beat you over the head with that bullshit. Even the whole thing with the 15-year-old black girl being new Iron Man, that shit thoroughly pissed me the fuck off, fam. I'm like, dude, you got Iron Man. He's a popular character. He's A-list now. And you throw a 15-year-old black girl, you place him with a 15-year-old black girl because some stupid social warriors on Tumblr bitching about
it doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, a 15-year-old kid of any race, of any gender, is not going to be able to fly that thing.
Yeah, even to me, even going to this event with Marvel with Secret Wars, they make Captain America their villain. When Captain America is like the fucking Superman from fucking Marvel. Captain America put Marvel on the fucking map. Two guys who created Captain America he's fighting for good people, right? He fighting for the good. He's a good guy, right? When you make him the evil and you make him the new head, you making the main man in charge of Hydra, that shit thoroughly pissed me the fuck off. And I said, fuck you, Marvel. I'm not buying this shit. I'm not buying your tie-ins. I'm not buying the main issues. And you got dumbass fans, comic book guys who actually read the comic books talking about, man, y'all just motherfucking mad. It's changing the status quo. There's nothing wrong with changing the status quo. I have no problem with that. Change the origin around a little bit, cool. But like when you take it, I can see the original whole idea that Marvel always played with the idea of making Captain America a villain. But like you just doing this shit and you wondering why fans are saying, and there's a lot of fans saying, fuck that, no, fuck that series, fuck that event. I don't blame them. And the reason why I'm also bringing this up too with social politics, it's too many fucking events in the comic book industry. Too many fucking events. It's like, oh, this event leads into this book ties into that issue. It's like, what happened?
Oh, right. And the next thing you know, in 1 month, you have to pay like $100 just to get the full story from all these different issues, many of which you don't even want to buy. It's like, okay, I like X-Men. I only buy X-Men comic books. So why do I have to buy, Spider-Man? And why do I have to buy Captain America? And why do I have to buy freaking Dazzler in order to get the full story? And that's exactly true.
Yeah, and I'm saying when you add, here's the thing. Back in the day, Green Arrow comic books has always been political. He's a political character. I have no problem with that. But here's the problem when you infuse politics. Nowadays, like you got people on Tumblr, Twitter, all these socialist warriors. All they do is bitch about diversity, but they don't buy the fucking books. And that's the problem I have when you flip politics in modern day times of comic books. And that's why they fucking shit. And that's why I look at comic book industry nowadays and I feel like I don't want another crash to happen because I thoroughly love comic books. But to me, I'm literally tired of these companies placate to these assholes who don't buy this shit. They don't buy this shit.
You know what? You've got a great point right there. They didn't buy video games either, and they're all the frickin' feminists and Antifa and the extreme left wing said, yay, video games are dead. We didn't buy them. We didn't care about them in the first place, but at least we killed them. And they're going to do the same thing with comic books. They're going to do the same thing with all different types of media. And I understand. I mean, what they are is just almost mindless destruction. And I think the fact that they're doing that is because they're attacking male spaces. And I know this is, we're trying to steer away from the whole MGTOW idea right here. But at the same time, it's like comic books were originally bought mostly by males. Video played mostly by males. RPGs are still only played by males. And what they're trying to do is encroach on our spaces. And I don't mean to make it sound like we're special snowflakes or anything like that, but at the same time, why do they have to take that away from us? It's like the 1920s. Well, yeah, we women made sure that the men can't go to the bars because of prohibitions. Let's go attack their coffee shops now. You know, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line, bro.
Yeah, and that's the problem, you know, for me, and that's the problem with modern day entertainment, even in comic books. I can't even joke more without some black person bitch about, well, there's no black characters in comic books. Create the goddamn character, asshole. You ain't got to bitch about the shit. God damn it, man. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie to you, Johnny. I used to be one of the people who used to bitch about that shit. Well, I did a video years back on one of my channel. I'm not gonna break it because that channel we doxing myself. But that video, I did a video about black characters, and there was like a guy who left a comment. It was a white person, it was a black person, and he actually made logical sense. He was like, you know, instead of you complaining about the problem, once you address it. And you know what? I took it to heart and said, you know what? I'm gonna create my own characters. I'm gonna stop instead of me bitching about the problem. And that's the problem I have with feminists, transgender people, gay people. Black folks, they want to bitch about the problem. See, here's what my father had saying. It's like, it's easy to bitch about the problem, but it's easy to bitch, but it's hard to find a solution to their problem. These people ain't trying to find a solution to the problem. All they want to do is bitch. They want to dictate the narrative. And the problem I have with these companies, stop placating to these assholes, because you gonna hurt the industry by placating to these people, man.
Well, okay, here's an example. I mean, you're gonna thin the bottom line if you do placate to these people. Case in point, Target, the chain store for people who are in America, they decided to no longer sell Grand Theft Auto 5, I believe it was, because it was quote unquote misogynist. So what happened? Yeah. So what happened was Target was not allowed. It did not get into the black on Black Friday because they should have been banking on the fact that was going to be a very popular video game that a lot of people are going to buy. I don't have it. I do need to get it. I'm going to get it on PS4, I guess. But that really hurt their profit margin, and that's the thing. These corporations are going to realize if we do what Anita Sarkeesian wants, we're gonna lose fucking money. Fuck you, Anita. Fuck you. You're a drain on my profit. I'm a corporation, and when I listen to you, I lose money.
Yeah, and that's the problem when these people don't realize. To me, being a black writer myself, I tell people all the time. Like, I was talking to this train station. I was at the train station yesterday, and the train station, I was telling this guy, like, I write comic books. And it was a Black Lives Matter idiot. It was a female, and she was talking about, so you're black men in America. She was like, yeah. And she was like, so what you think about police brutality and white supremacy and slavery? I'm like, personally, I passed that shit. And she was like, what? You passed slavery? You say, I don't give a fuck. I say, fuck Roots, fuck the original one, fuck the new one, fuck Underground, fuck all this white man, this system, this, like, I'm past this fucking point. I don't want to talk about this shit no more. And she was like, so when you're writing comic books, do you address black issues? I'm like, no, I just write the character like I'll write any character. What the fuck do you mean? You don't want to fucking embrace it? You don't embrace your culture? First of all, I'm not part of this shit, okay? I separated myself from the black community a long time ago when I said fuck that shit. And like, I create characters. When I create characters, you know, whether it just happened in black, I don't focus on them being black. I don't have them fucking the people, the support kids. Oh, you do know you do know you're black, right? Every 2 fucking seconds, I don't do that shit. Why? Because that would be bashing an intelligent person saying, oh yeah, you know, like, man, fuck that shit. It's stupid as fuck. And that's
exactly. No filter. I mean, I think you are very attuned and aware of the fact that you needn't use quote unquote blackness in order to sell a fucking comic book. Just like, for instance, on Friday, I believe I'm going to go speak with Shingles about Ireland. Now, I'm Irish, but Irish American, but I'm just doing it because I want to learn a little bit more about it. But it's not like some sort of like Chucky Arlai, Aaron Gobra kind of thing that where I'm trying to virtue signal my heritage. And I think I'm not trying to exactly like you're not trying to virtue signal your African heritage with your comic book.
No, it's like people who hold on to shit. Like to me, it's like, dude, I ain't picking cotton, fam. I'm sorry, and it made it sound
right.
I'm not a fucking slave, fam. I'm not getting beat with whips and chains no more. I'm not in shackles no more. I'm not watching that shit. I didn't watch it as a kid. I'm not watching it as an adult, and I don't want to read about that shit. It's like I was reading one of my past streams I just did hours ago. Basically this stupid dude, and there's this one stupid idiot responding to me in the comic book saying he called me a coon ass nigga, talking about you a coon ass nigga, fam, and you know what I'm saying. So you mean tell me you? And I said fuck slavery. I said I got what people didn't like my opinion, and I said fuck slavery, man. Fuck that shit. I'm past that point, man. I'm done talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to read about it. Look, I watch a documentary. That's about it. Man. Look, I said I understand slavery fucking happened. It was a fucked up thing in its history, but I don't want to read about it in a damn comic book. And that's my thing with me when I was watching the fucking video that the guy was responding to, Professor Black Truth. He's a pro-black conscious idiot talking about the Black Panther trailer is racist. I'm like, fam, just because you fucking killjoy and you can't enjoy shit, don't fucking fuck it up for me, man. I'm a black geek and thoroughly enjoy this shit, okay? I read comic books to escape the real fucking world. I don't want to hear about white supremacy in a damn Black Panther comic book. I don't want to hear you bitch about it, talking about racism. But I'm like, fam, it's a fucking trailer. Like, you ain't got.
Well, you know what? Exactly. Imagine if Black Arrow took place in a world where slavery never ended, and he's going to fight it for you. You know, that is just beating people over the head with that message again. That is just going to make really no sense. Like you said, that's over with. We've gotten over it. We need to move on. And
it's like for me, I mean, I hate to bring this shit up. It's like the fucking Jews in the Holocaust. You don't see a bunch of Jewish people walking around talking about the Holocaust was fucked up. You know what they did? They dominate fucking Hollywood. And even they fucking got their gay shit, fucking they keep them on this gay shit in these damn movies and shit. I get Jewish people. You don't see them bringing up about Hitler and the Jews. You know why? They moved past that shit already, man. Move past the shit already. I don't want to read about it. It's like, and that's my problem with politics and comic books. And I hate to fucking go in that narrative and rant about it, but it's like, stop bitching about this shit. I don't care about it no more, man. Like police brutality, I was mad when those shoes go down, but you know what? I just give up now. When I hear these shoes go down, I don't get invested into that type of shit because that shit pisses me the fuck off, fam. Like, that's why I read comic books to escape this shit. I throw my headphones on to not listen to this bullshit. When I hear people bitch about systematic racism, I'm like, fam, there's tons of fucking opportunities out there right now.
Right.
Shit, dude. No, I don't. Like, I'm a black man that create characters, man. If I can do it, you can do the shit, and stop blaming the system, saying the system saying a place for you to fail. Guess what happened? We all have obstacles, man. White men, and to me, the reason why I'm MGTOW and the reason why this series is so fucking important, not just for creators, but let men know I'm past that race shit, dude. That's why I'm like SFM. I fuck with SFM heavily because he on that race. He's not on that race baiting bullshit.
No, he's not at all.
I don't give a fuck about. I'm past that shit already, fam. I'm 28 years old. I turned 29 in October, fam. I'm a couple months away from turning 29. I'm getting old, man. I ain't got time for this shit, man. I want to read a comic.
I already am old. Yeah.
I want to escape. Like, I don't want to escape it, and like people don't realize they missing with this bullshit. It's like, dude, I don't want to hear you bitch about it. Shut the fuck up about it already. And that's the problem I have when it comes to black creators. And that's why I'm a black creator myself. But what fears me the most, to me, I feel like when I become a big time comic book creator and I make it in the industry, people gonna look at me saying, "Oh my fucking god, he's a black comic creator." And that's the reason why I say I fear my deepest fear is not succeeding in the comic book industry, because I know I'll be an excellent fucking writer for any company if they hire me. But the thing, my biggest fear is to me, because I'll be a big time writer, the company's gonna looking at me. I'll have Black Lives Matter, black men, black women, society, pro-blacks, the conscious community, everybody looking towards me saying, "Oh my God, no filter! You're the top you're the top black creator in the comic book industry. You know, address Black Lives Matter." And I just tell them fuck off, because I'm not talking about that type of shit. I don't want to talk about it because one, fam, I don't enjoy reading that shit. I don't want to read that shit. I don't want to read no fucking 10 page or 15 page or how many pages in a comic book about 2 hours of a whole panel about social justice warrior bullshit. I don't want to read.
Well, yeah, we don't want to. Like I said, we want to get with the plot. We want to get with the action. We want to be entertained because, again, like you said, that's our escape. And if you're going to keep beating me over the head like women should have blue armpit hair, why don't more women have blue armpit hair? I know the patriarchy won't let women have blue armpit hair. It's just like that is not fucking entertaining. It's not interesting. Unless you make fun of it. But
this shit is mad depressing to read, man. I don't want to read that type of shit. You know the reason why I enjoyed the Black Panther trailer for one fucking second? They weren't mentioning no fucking. It's like when I watched the fucking Luke Cage shit. I was watching Luke Cage shit, and even though I think Luke Cage new Netflix series was a good series and everything, that shit
I liked it.
That shit started to piss me off. Every 2 fucking seconds, Luke Cage give me a damn history lesson. You know, you don't call me the N-word. You don't call me the word nigga because you said it in front of so-and-so. I'm like, dude, I don't need a fucking history lesson right now. Punch that dude directly in the fucking face. I don't give a fuck about your history lesson right now. I don't care about it.
Exactly. If they could have pared that out of there, all that history lesson and the you should be guilty because you're white. Dude, focus more on like Cottonmouth, who was a badass villain. And then have Luke Cage beat the shit out of that motherfucker.
Even the bullshit, even like I think even with the 10, 11, 12, like the last 13 episodes of the show, with fucking the dumbass idiots in Harlem wearing the fucking hoodie and shit with the holes in the shit because it was
I remember that. Yeah,
for killing that cop and shit. It's like, come on, fam, really, like, come on, Netflix. I fucking come on some bullshit, right, man. And it's coming from a black dude. I'm tired of reading about this shit. I don't want to read about it. And that's why when I write characters, fam, I don't focus on the character being black. If the characters, and that's the problem with politics and comic books. Because like when you do the shit, all you're fucking doing is you're placating to a bunch of fucking retards, just like I'm calling them retarded here, who don't buy the shit. Why are you fucking placating to these idiots? And I didn't know, for me, because they like, so you should tell me Target don't sell GTA 5 in their stores no more.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's just kind of like in terms of creativity, it's just like, well, let's say, here's what a corporate comic book company might say, like, well, let's say you're a black creator. Why don't you bring out slavery and Jim Crow laws? And it's just like, I don't want to focus on that shit. I want to create other things. I don't care about having to bring that into it. It'd be just like me being Irish, it's just like, well, why don't you focus on the Troubles and the Easter Uprising in 1916? It's just like, okay, no, I don't need to do that. Or a Vietnamese person having to talk about the Vietnam War. What if they don't want to? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the shit I'm talking about in life. Like, fam, nobody wants to read that type of shit. I'm a black dude, and I don't care. I don't watch anything slavery-wise. Why? You know why? Because I ain't trying to relive that shit. Fam, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any black person that got triggered from this rant, but fuck that shit. I don't want to read about it, fam. I don't give a fuck about it no more. I am done. I'm past that point. I don't want to read about it. And it's like, for me, and this is why I fuck with MGTOW heavy, because MGTOW is the only community I come to I really feel safe in. Like, we ain't on this race bullshit. We about brotherhood, and that's fucking it. I don't give a fuck about whatever social warrior cause you fucking fighting for. It's like, no, fam. I'm like, no, I went to this fucking store recently. I was in this clothing store, and it was in a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and it was like the guy he had a Black Lives Matter t-shirt behind them, and I'm sitting there, whatever. I'm like, dude, was like, you're a Black Lives Matter supporter, and he was like, I was like, no, I don't support that dumb shit. Is that what you mean? I'm like, dude, I'm not a fucking victim here. All Black Lives Matter is a bunch of people crying fucking victim about a system. Here's the thing, dude. All my interaction with police officers has always fucking been good. White police officers are that. So obviously, to me, it's like, long as you ain't nothing stupid to get yourself locked the fuck up, what the fuck are you bitching about?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really had a big issue with my confrontations with police officers. Yeah, sure, I'm a white guy, but I'm also male, and the thing is that I have been profiled by them, and they've stopped me before, and I used to have like the punk rock bumper stickers on my car and things. And one time, one cop said, "Hey, let me see your ashtray." And I'm like, "Why?" He's just like, "Just suspicion." I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead. Get dirty. I don't have no weed in there." You know what I mean? And he let me go, but still at the same time, I was a young man at the time with that kind of profile on me, and as such, I had to suffer for it. But either way, it's just kind of like, just because you're a black man does not mean that you're going to wind up getting shot by a police officer, and you know that. And I
Yeah, I mean, and that's the fucking problem with politics in general when you add it in the comic books. Like social commentary. Like, dude, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear social commentary about whatever fucking political you fucking got. I don't care, dude. I just want to fucking read. I want to read a comic book, escape the real world, escape the world I'm living in, and just call it a goddamn day, fam. It's like, I'm not asking much. And that's the problem with modern day comic books. Even in comic book movies nowadays, you see in Star Wars, you see in all these movies nowadays, oh, we need more female characters. You know what? I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise. Okay, I think Aliens is one of the best movies of all fucking time, the best sequel of all time.
Yeah.
Ripley is a great female character. She's a great character. You know why? And she wasn't going out her beating you over the head with that shit. Like, oh, look at this character. She just happened to be a female. She did shit. She was the fucking hero at the end of the day. She saves the girl, and that's fucking it. She didn't fuck you over the head with the shit every 2 minutes saying how I'm a strong character. It didn't go out the way. And that's what I'm talking about. You can have a female character, you can have a black character without mentioning the fucking character gender. You can have it. And that's what I'm talking about. Go back to the main topic. It's like, overall, what Creator's Block is saying is that you can have a female character and not make her, and not mention that she's a female character. She just happened to be a badass. It's like, nothing wrong with that type of shit. And when you add politics in comic books, what you end up really doing is you alienate a whole bunch of readers. I haven't brought Marvel in years, and don't plan to buy them shits. I'm sorry, man. And tomorrow, reboot that shit all the goddamn way and reboot, get rid of all of them shitty characters. Now, I do fuck with Miles Morales because I think Miles Morales is a dope character. But even to me in general, like, I don't want to read a fucking what you call it, Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel. She's Kamala Khan, whatever. I think she's Indian. I think whether she's Muslim, whatever. I don't.
Oh yeah, she's Indian. I think.
I do not want them to read that shit, fam. I'm sorry, man. I hate that fucking character. I'm not a fan of the character.
No filter in terms of creating characters and even the storyline. Here's what it is simply. As a creator, we should be entertainers for comic books, not there to school our audience. And that's the big fucking difference right there. And that's simply it.
Yeah, when you beat people over the head with that type of shit, like all you doing is preaching to the goddamn choir, because a lot of the readers are saying, well, why the fuck should I have to damn buy the comic book if I'm gonna fucking get preached to talking about how much of a piece of shit I am? It's like when you look at modern day feminism, it's like when I look at Anita Sarkeesian bitching about the video game industry. It's like, no, I think the new Call of Duty I think it's the new Call of Duty with the new trailer, and it was a bunch of bitch ass women, men and women talking about, and feminists talking about, there's no black folks in the game. Like, if you go back to World War I, there was no black folks in World that fought in World War I. There was no women in World War I. What the fuck are you arguing about? Like, let the accurate timelines, accurate history be told accurately. Not placate to these dumb social justice warrior idiots who don't buy shit, but they bitch about every goddamn thing in the planet, you know?
Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you mean. Now, no filter, I got to get running, but I'm glad I got to take the time off to speak with you today. I'd love to get on the next episode. Hopefully we could get Armchair, Luiz, and especially Stuart. That'd be great to go talking about. What's the next episode's topic? Writing?
Writing, yeah, writing.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
I'm about to end the stream anyway. But guys, it's been a great stream. Peace and love. Love you guys. For the end of the broadcast now.